Alright. Are you guys ready to fucking rumble? Let's fucking do this, boys. I have played an amount of this already, but I'm gonna start from the very beginning, because Astrophic was not here, and neither were you guys, so fuck it. I'm gonna have to do a lot of reading this time. Blue.
Visual novel.
The floor, the ceiling, the furnishing, everything is blue. It's quite unlike what I normally see throughout my day. And yet, my heart is mysteriously calm. I recognize the slight rumble of the engine and realize that I'm in a car. Or rather, someplace else I recognize.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Also, from my memory, any voice line that is from another person is read. Like, is verbal. But there's a lot of narration. The old man with the bizarre face sitting before me makes an expression that appears to be a smile. Sitting quietly next to the old man is a woman as beautiful and delicate as an ice sculpture.
Ah, it seems we have a guest with an intriguing destiny. My name is Igor.
What gun has a name to fill this time?
To make your acquaintance.
The Velvet Room. Igor. Even though I'm barely conscious, I remember that this is not the first time I've heard those names. I see. This is a dream. That happened in the past. I've been in this room before. My memory is correct. What he says next is...
This place exists between dream and reality. Mind and matter. It is a room that only those who are bound by a contract may enter. It may be that such a fate awaits you in the near future.
The words I expect to hear fall from the old man's mouth. I'm surprised that I still remember them. Another me, the one not in the dream, can't help but smile at that.
Now then, why don't you introduce yourself?
I remember this too. When I said my name here, it forged a contract with them. So I answer. You, Narukami. But people call me Chad. Also, I should turn up the audio if I can. I seemingly can't. So I'm gonna have to fucking go speedrun some shit for a second. Hold on. I really should have fucking dealt with this sooner.
Perfect.
It should be fine, relatively speaking.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Okay, there we go. And you almost got hit by a car. When I open my eyes, the light is so blinding that I have to squint. For a moment, I can't figure out where I am, and I look around.
Right. I was on my way back.
You mutter to yourself and look out the window. The sky is somewhat cloudy, fortunately, but the scenery is peaceful as always. It seems that I fell asleep on the train, headed to the countryside, where I spent last year in Inaba. So what's really fucking weird is, first off, Marie isn't in this at all, not even mentioned by name, so it's not based on Golden, it's based off Persona 4. But it also retcons the ending of Persona 4. For some reason, this is the year, like, this is a year after when you come back. You know the ending of Persona 4? Where you go back to Inaba? That's this, but it's different now, entirely. As in, nobody even looks different than they did a year ago. If I recall correctly, when I first came to this town, it was an afternoon just like this. I dozed off the same way back then, and was summoned to the Velvet Room. That was when Igor said that misfortunes will befall me. And just as he foretold, I was dragged into an outrageous murder mystery. That was no ordinary case. Right, it uses a shit ton of fucking images from the anime. So this might actually be based off the anime instead. Because I don't know if the anime has the, end, like the after, like, epilogue or whatever the fuck. The Midnight Channel, Shadows, and Personas. The Power of the Heart. I saw things that could scarcely be believed. But I made memories that could never have been replaced as well. We gained the powers of personas, and we suffered together. And that definitely describes the game. I stood with my friends on the investigation team against these misfortunes and fought alongside them. There's no way I could have overcome such ordeals without their help.
Wonder what everyone's been up to.
After solving the mystery, it was decided that I would leave Inaba, since my parents would be returning from overseas around that same time. It's been about 2 months. Oh, no. It's 2 months. Okay. They said goodbye to me at the train station. So this is still kind of canon. I had decided to stay at the Dojima residence during Golden Week, so that I could spend the holiday with my friends. Of course, my uncle was happy to hear this, and his daughter, Nanako, should be glad to see me too.
Damn it! I still haven't picked up Yosuke's gift.
Well, it is something quite particular, I guess. Actually, I received a call from Teddy on the one of my investigation team friends this morning. The details of the conversation were a bit troublesome.
Hello? Is this Sensei?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm really sorry to bring this up, but I forgot to tell you something very important. I have a special request for the souvenirs I'm sure you'll be bringing your best friend.
Teddy, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to tell people what you want to bring. What you want them to bring you as a souvenir. I already have souvenirs for everyone, but oh well. Sure enough, Teddy was only asking for some snacks that aren't sold in Inaba. So it wasn't much trouble. But there was one problem.
And one more thing. Can I ask you to pick up something for Yosuke too?
I was planning on bringing something for everyone anyway, but go ahead.
Cool! Well, Yosuke's been down in the dumps after his mommy burned his favorite nurse. She was what I called scorching hot. Just kidding.
A nurse?
Aw, come on, Sensei. You know what I'm talking about. His nurse magazine with the chest examinations and the bear behinds.
I see. And you expect me to buy him a replacement?
Of course, silly. People coming to visit are supposed to bring presents.
All right. Oh, I was planning to head back tomorrow, but since we're meeting up early, I decided to go back today. Can you pass that on to everyone?
Aha! Then the sexy nurses will be arriving even sooner. It'll be like, Sensei, we have an emergency patient. Yosuke will be so happy.
Jesus Christ.
Okay then, we'll be waiting for you.
I'm a little worried now. Hope he isn't telling everybody something that would give them the wrong idea. Well, should just call again once I get there. But in the end, Yosuke likes nurses. I wasn't able to pick one up for him. How can I put it? I feel bad for Yosuke if I gave him that magazine. And every time he opened it, his friend's face kept popping into his head. And I have to thank Yosuke for his pride, too. I have to thank Yosuke has his pride too. Jesus. It doesn't make me buying him this stuff. Then again, this is Yosuke we're talking about. I'm sure he'll understand if I explain my reasonings. Probably.
Now pulling into Yaso Inaba. This will be the last stop. Yaso Inaba.
Oh,
End of the line already. Looks like I've been asleep for a lot longer than I thought. Just as that thought came to me, a certain worry crossed my mind. I had a dream of the Velvet Room. Does that mean I'm going to be dragged into another adventure? No, I shouldn't think such things. I'm overthinking it. Igor had said, "I'm delighted to make your acquaintance," after all, so it's nothing but a dream. It's quite misleading, since I've had dreams of being summoned into that room. Or I haven't had dreams. Wait, wait. Yeah, since I've had... Okay. The train begins to slow, and I take that as my cue to gather my belongings from the luggage rack above me. When the train comes to a complete stop and the doors open, even the smell of the wind evokes a sense of nostalgia. I think I'm getting a little too sentimental. I step out on the platform with a weary smile. I'm standing in front of the train station, but this town is quiet as it's always been. I realize that the sun has started to set. The orange sky envelops the
now,
world.
what should I do?
Today is May 2nd. According to the calendar, the latter half of the holiday will begin tomorrow. I told Dojima that I wasn't going to arrive today, but it seems he's been too busy with work to come get me. That I was. Ryutaro Dojima. He's my uncle. I stayed with him last year. He's a detective with the Inaba police, and he's raising his elementary school-age daughter, Nanako, by himself. It seems that we suddenly Seems he was suddenly contacted by a detective from the Metropolitan Police Department regarding last year's case, and will have to work late. What happened last year was very serious, so I guess I'm not too surprised he's so busy. You shouldn't have worried about it. I recall how apologetic he sounded over the phone, and can't help smiling. I told him that I knew the way over to from the station, but a bag packed with necessities and souvenirs for everybody turns out to be quite a load. Nanako must be waiting for me alone at the house, so I want to get there as soon as possible, too. To be honest, I don't know when the bus will come. Maybe I should just call for a taxi? That's what I'm thinking, guys.
Nanako?
Big bro!
It is Nanako. There's no mistake
You
her.
came to meet me all on your own?
Why did she come to the station all by herself? True, the Dojima residence is within walking distance, but it couldn't have been easy for her. And even though it's still light out right now, it'll get dark soon, and the country road is barely lit. What would she have done if I hadn't been here? I'm about to voice my concerns, but Nanako sounds slightly proud when she says,
Don't worry, Dad knows about it. He gave me money for the bus. He said he couldn't make it, so I came instead. Welcome back, big bro. I wanted to see you so much.
Thanks. I'm happy to see you again, too.
God, the fucking, like, mouth moving is so weird. I almost wish it just didn't, like, the mouth just didn't move at all like they did in fucking 4. I see. She must have wanted to show me that she's grown up, too. She is around that age, after all. For a moment, I'm surprised that Dojima-san let her do this, but I can kind of imagine what kind of conversation took place. Nanako had always been a capable girl, but over the past year, her housekeeping skills have improved greatly, and she's proven herself to be very reliable. She takes the lead in she takes the lead in many things within the house. And even Dojima-san can't compete with her sometimes. I can easily imagine the scenery in my mind. The scene in my mind. Fuck. And it's true that I'm glad someone came to welcome me. I take Nanako's hand and we begin walking side by side.
Well, no sense standing around here. What's in the fridge at home?
Lots. Dad and I bought a ton of stuff since you were coming to visit.
If Nanako says so, then he really must have bought a lot. Dojima-san did say he'd pick up dinner for us, but if that's the case, maybe I should put together something to go with it. I asked Nanako what she wants to eat, and she looks back with a twinkle in her eye.
Are you gonna cook dinner? Ooh, I wanna help.
Nanako and I make small talk while we walk through Inaba together, for the first time in a little while. Being here like this makes me feel as if I've gone back in time to a year ago. After we get back to the Dojima home, I hurry up and unpack my belongings before heading to the kitchen. Nanako helps me out as diligently as she had claimed earlier. The way she mixes the eggs seems more skillful than before. Such a good girl, Nanako.
Good evening. This is the Evening Journal with news for May 2nd. Our top story is on the domestic airline that was hijacked yesterday.
The TV in the living room echoes throughout the house. Ugh, thinking back on it, it was quite often in this place. When I first came to Inaba, Nanako was practically being raised by the television. There had been this odd sense of distance between us around that time. She hadn't started calling me Big Bro, and we didn't cook together, like we're doing now. It's the little things that bring back memories. Right as we're about done making dinner, Dojima-san arrives, with some deluxe sushi. Nanako quickly gets up and rushes to the door. She seems so happy when her brother comes home. Dojima-san apologizes about the sudden increase in his workload. And then we all sit at the table and begin eating. Being here like this makes me feel like the 2 months I was gone never happened at all. There's a warm atmosphere, as if I've always been a part of this family, and have lived here with them my entire life. Well, can I... Why do I look so dead? And Dojima's got them very feminine eyelashes. What's going on? I thank both of them from deep in my heart. And after I give them a souvenir I had brought for them, we enjoyed chatting with each other as a family.
Phew.
Another familiar room. This is the room that was prepared for me on the 2nd floor of the Dojima residence. Nanako had fallen asleep after all the excitement. After carrying her to her room, I tell my uncle that I'll be going to bed early as well, since I have plans. All he said was, okay, gesturing towards the 2nd floor. I'm a little perplexed by this, but I have my suspicion, and as I open the door to my old room, it seems I was right. The room is no different than it had been when I was living here, which is exactly what Dojima said was going to happen. It's exactly the same as it was when I left Inaba. I closed the door with a feeling of, wistfulness? As I sit down on the sofa and consider my uncle's thoughtfulness, I sigh in exhaustion from the long journey. I'll be able to see my friends tomorrow. Considering that there are still several days left in this holiday, it may be nice to leave early tomorrow and go visit the shopping district.
It's raining.
The time is just before midnight. In mere moments, it will be a new day. Whenever it rains at night, I end up checking on the time. While I spent the last year in Inaba, I was always checking for the Midnight Channel, which was a popular urban legend here in Inaba. It's a bad habit of mine, even when I'm not here. If you look at a turned-off TV at midnight on a rainy night, you will see your soulmate. Discovering that this rumor was actually true was the first reason why I became involved with the murder investigation last year. But the person who actually appeared on the Midnight Channel isn't your soulmate. It's the next victim. Except we kind of went through that. It wasn't. It was just people that people were interested in. Dude, all the murder shit was all a fucking pure coincidence. It is a pure coincidence that, like, she showed up on the Midnight Channel because people wanted to see her, right? Like, the news anchor. People wanted to see what she was really like. Because she was caught cheating. And because of that, Dachi was put to, protect her. And then he flat out murders her. That was the first coincidence. Then the second coincidence, Adachi has to question the other girl, and then he murders her after she shows up on the Midnight Channel. Then, from that point on, the murders were just because somebody thought those people were going to die. Well, the almost murders. It was really fucking interesting, I have to say. After discovering this, we all nervously sat before our TVs on rainy nights in order to solve the case.
That brings back some memories. Nothing will show anymore, though.
Will nothing really appear, though? I suddenly have doubts. Why would I think that? After we solved the case, we all confirmed that the Midnight Channel wasn't appearing anymore. The empty screen stays silent, so...
Just in case.
Why? It's not going to turn on. There's no way. The more I think about it, the more I feel my resolve fading. I peer into the TV screen as if something is drawing me into it. The only thing I see is my reflection in the dark glass of the CRT television. Or so I thought.
Friends, yet powerful foes. The desperate fighting program amongst high school students. A new legend is about to start.
May the manliest of all men come on down!
Nobody touches his precious Nanako, the sister complex kingpin of steel, Yu Narukami!
It's only natural.
Wage slave in the boonies by day, hero by night.
I feel like my mouse is on screen. I'm mad now.
Everything that bores me has gotta go.
A spunky dragon with deadly legs. The carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka.
You need to eat more meat!
Please escort me to the ring, my prince. The unconquerable Snow Black, Yukiko Amagi.
I'll finish you in one strike!
Blooming roses and bulging muzzles, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, Kanji Tatsumi! Deep into realms of romance, the body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ killjoy detective, Naoto Shirogane!
Is this an army of idiots?
Fight and survive towards the one throne waiting at the end! The P1 Grand Prix where fierce fights will be fought! The battle begins tonight!
What's that?
What the fuck?
Just call your screen.
What? Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel?
Was that me? Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel. I'm impressed. There's so much wrong with that phrase, I don't even know where to begin. No, I should be thinking about that. Those words aren't the problem here. I hurry to make sure that the TV isn't plugged in. That was the Midnight Channel. What it was actually showing was rather ridiculous, but thinking back, everything the Midnight Channel showed last year didn't make much sense either. Suddenly gripped by its tension. If the Midnight Channel is appearing again, I have to find out why. I pull out my cell phone and search for Yosuke's number.
Let's see, H. Hanamura Yosuke.
I quickly hit the call button. Does everyone know about this? Is everyone aware that the Midnight Channel is still being broadcasted? Do they know that it's showing us? And that we've been given taglines that can only be described as uncharitable?
Hello, this is Yosuke.
Yosuke?
It's nothing. I just freaked out when you called all of a sudden. Yeah, that's it. What's up? Hey, when do you want to meet?
I can tell what's going on just by the sound of his voice. Yosuke knows what's happened on the Midnight Channel just now. He's trying to hide it from me. Considering that I've been out of Inaba for a while, I bet he's trying to keep me from worrying about it. There's no need for him to be concerned about that. Then again...
It's like people had decisions, so one of those decisions you just call him by the name that was on there.
Stravik, shut up! I can kind of understand how he feels. I am his friend after all.
That's not why I was calling. I saw the Midnight Channel. You saw it too, right?
Huh?
I can easily hear Yosuke's panicking on the other side of the phone. He's probably surprised that I saw the Midnight Channel, when I shouldn't even be in Inaba right now. He must be thinking that the Midnight Channel is now appearing on a national television network. Looks like Teddy didn't tell them after all.
Did Teddy not tell you? Since we're meeting up early tomorrow, I decided to come today. I figured you wouldn't think I could have seen it, so I gave you a call.
Well, I assumed you weren't here yet, so I didn't want to rely on you.
You haven't changed. So how about it? You're not gonna leave this be, are you, Captain Rasantama?
You were saying, Stravik?
Yeah.
Why'd you zero in on that part? Did you see how they called you a Sister Complex Kingpin?
Mine's not that
They
bad.
want to just call him off. Just call them out now at the start.
God, I still like the what the fuck was Chie's, the carnivore who fucking discarded her womanhood?
Think? Oh, I ought to tell you, that program's not the only strange thing lately. Teddy, Rise, and Kanji aren't here either. They disappeared.
For a moment, I'm at a loss for words. Not only has the Midnight Channel come back on, we've lost contact with 3 of our friends? I have a bad feeling about this. I can't believe that those 2 things are unrelated.
Alright, we should get together tomorrow like we planned.
Yeah, at the Jeunesse food court. Welcome back, partner.
I'm suddenly reminded that I haven't even greeted Yosuke yet. I finally feel the sense of worry fade a little, and I answer with a smile.
It's good to be here.
No matter what has happened, our friends may be in danger. If that's so, then there's only one thing to do. Speaking of things I have to do...
Oh, right. Sorry to say, I forgot to pick up your souvenir.
A souvenir? Don't even worry about it, man.
Oops, I was
You
wrong one.
sure? I thought you were really looking forward to it. Those nurses.
Nurses?
I had a feeling he wouldn't get it if I didn't tell him flat out. This is rather hard to bring up, but oh
Yeah,
well.
Teddy asked me to get it for you. He said you were crushed that they got burned.
Oh, wait, this is all...
I didn't know you were into nurses.
Shut up! That's enough! Damn it, you're trying to wind me up, aren't you? Stay home, you jerk.
But I'm already here. Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
At least it seems like he understands about his souvenir. In any case, preparations have been made. Tomorrow, we'll meet up with everyone to sort through whatever information we have on the situation. If we have to, we'll go back into that world. It'd be best if this was all just our imaginations, but unfortunately, we know the Midnight Channel wouldn't have appeared without a reason. I should make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. Get some rest. But if we enter that world, we can't really figure out where to go. Both Teddy and Rise are missing. This place is lively as always. I look across the food court on Junes' roof for the first time in a while. Even though there aren't many people in Inaba, this place is exceptionally crowded. Plus, because it's Golden Week as well, I feel like it's busier than usual. Happen to run into Yosuke at the elevator. We briefly greet each other. Guys are weird like that. The closer we are, the more simple our interactions than when we meet.
Definitely not the awkwardest from last night.
The two of us step out on the food court. We immediately find Yukiko and Chie. They wave back at us, past the playground area, having a stroke, from the bench they're sitting on.
Good to see you guys again.
Welcome back! We missed you!
I missed everybody who's not you to an extent.
Sound effect.
The guest of honor's finally here!
Sound
Doing
effect.
well? Welcome back. Should we...
Huh? Oh, he already knows about the Midnight Channel thing. He's actually the one who called me up about it.
Oh, I see. This has turned into a pretty thrown-together reunion, hasn't it? But I'm glad you came.
We chat some more while we all sit down. Then Yosuke stands up and clears his throat loudly. He's probably been waiting for the right moment to say something. He hasn't mentioned anything to me, but I can easily guess what he's about to say. We all look towards Yosuke.
Well, it sucks that we can't hang out more before jumping into another mystery, but to celebrate our partner's return, I hereby reinstate the investigation team in response to the Midnight Channel going back on the air last night.
Oh, the team is back! Just hearing that name again gets me all fired up. Yeah, let's do this!
I don't think the applause is necessary.
Why not? It's been 2 months since we last saw each other, after all. Chi and Yukiko start chuckling when I shrug, and though Yosuke seems saddened at that, he still ends up laughing along with as well. It's a relief to see that they're the same as always, but because of that, makes me even more worried about the friends that aren't here now. Can't start slacking off. We begin to sort through the information we know about already.
Well, let's get cracking. I mean, this is no laughing matter. No one's heard from Teddy, Kanji, or Rise. Just those three, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got a hold of Naoto-kun, but I didn't tell her about this stuff. She told me she couldn't make it today because of her job, so I didn't want to worry her. She seemed pretty bummed that she couldn't be here too.
If she has a reason for not being here, and we can still contact her, then Naoto should be fine. That leaves Teddy, Rise, and Kanji. Not hearing back from them after an entire day has passed isn't normal at all. The relationship between their sudden disappearance, the relationship between the sudden disappearance and the reappearance of the Midnight Channel last night disturbs me.
One thing's been bothering me. The picture on the TV was very clear last night.
Yeah. Going by the pattern from last year, it wouldn't be that clear until after the victim entered the TV.
That was also pure coincidence.
Hey, isn't this the first time a big group of people was shown together? Plus, we're still here. Why us anyway? And what's up with those insulting descriptions?
Chie seems pretty angry about it. Many of the locals know about the rumor of the Midnight Channel. In other words, this troubling broadcast has already been seen by who knows how many people. From what I've been told, the moment Chie tried to ask another student about the Midnight Channel, the other girl ran away with a look of fear on her face. It's no surprise that Chie would be angry. But in the end...
What bothers me most is Teddy. He was acting like the host of that show.
Yeah, and we can't find him.
This smells fishy. Then again, I doubt he would play a prank like this for no reason.
I guess we'll just have to go inside the TV and find out what's going on.
That's right. Go inside the TV. And of everything, that was the element that shook our common sense the most out of everything we experienced last year. Actually, the murders in last year's events happened in the other world, inside the television. This world is filled with monsters called Shadow, that are born from people's hearts. Because my friends and I gained personas, the power to defeat the Shadows, we were able to enter the TV screen and fight them.
Won't we be stuck in there without Teddy to give us an exit?
Apparently not, since that doesn't happen in Royal. Not Royal, Golden, fuck. But even we Persona users would find it extremely difficult to leave that world on our own. In order to come back, we need the exit TV that our friend Teddy was capable of creating.
Not so. I've had Teddy keep the exit TV out on that side.
Look at you, all prepared.
I mean, think about it. What if we were half asleep and fell into a TV when Teddy wasn't over there? Isn't that a scary thought?
Like anyone would be that clumsy.
Yeah! Yeah, that's, stupid.
Anyway, it sounds like it's safe for us to go investigate then.
No matter what the reason is to reassuring... reason. It's reassuring to know that we have an exit strategy ready for us. To be honest, I almost fell in the first time it appeared in my room, after all.
Yeah, there's no doubt that something's going on in there. Is everyone ready?
We're all good to go. To tell the truth, I had a hunch that this was going to happen.
We all shared a look of, to confirm our intuition. Our intentions. This fucking white text is honestly bothering me a lot. All of them nod back. I can see the seriousness in their eyes. Even though there was a 2-month gap since I last saw them, they still continue to put their trust in me. I feel a slight sense of pride as I stand up from the bench. The large screen TV in the electronics department is directly below the food court. That was the entrance we always used last year, and it's fucking astonishing hasn't gone anywhere. Within a year and 2 months. Imagine if somebody bought that fucking thing.
And to do it in front of
It's
people.
a holiday, so the store's full of people.
I feel like things are picking up around town.
It's kind of like a major cutscene decision for one where they kind of sneak in, the other one where they just throw them all in. Just in front of it.
Whoa, wait! There are still people in this aisle!
Hey, get ready! The customers are going away! Uh-huh.
It's go ride time. I hate that I keep saying that. It's so fucking old.
TV time.
It's TV time.
It just has the level show for the 64.
It's TV o'clock. Oh shit, never mind.
Unusual? Oh no! What do we do?
What can we do? We can't stop now!
PC specs must not be very good for be loading that long.
We in the backwards TV. I hear a voice. I need to be back. So, I'm gonna try to make this as quick as I can and return. I apologize about this. I apologize about that. I hear a voice. It's a woman's voice. It sounds familiar to me. This voice is...
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Hey, Elizabeth, what's up? I don't sense that distinctive floating feeling that I usually have when I enter the TV world. When I concentrate, I realize I must be sitting in a chair. The moment I open my eyes, I see a vibrant blue. The Velvet Room. I visited this place an untold number of times last year, and once more in my dreams yesterday. Never thought I would return to this place.
It's not a dream this time? What's going on? Didn't my contract end already?
Igor, who usually sits in front and center, is nowhere to be seen. The one to greet me is the woman with the silver hair, Margaret. Could this be a personal summoning, then? That happened a few times last year, too. Margaret smiles as if she senses my suspicion.
This room is tied to your fate. Nothing that occurs here is meaningless. Though you reached an end to one journey, you now find yourself here again.
Indeed.
This shows that you will once again be faced with a question.
A question? And something really is going on?
Obviously. Every time I take a bite, I swear. Another mystery has appeared, and we are about to be dragged into it again. Can that be what she means?
From here on, what befalls you will upset your status quo. It is true that you've opened the door once already, but all things change. Nothing ever remains the same. What you gained before will change over time as well. You will have to face them once again.
Face them? Again?
The first thing that Margaret's words stir up in my head is the sight of my friends' smiling faces. Is that going to change? No, that can't be true. And face them again? It's impossible. Once I wake up and leave this room, I should still be with my friends. There's no need to jump to conclusions. But Margaret appears to have anticipated my thoughts and smiles while narrowing her eyes.
Show me how you will proceed down the path that awaits beyond the door you've opened.
My vision wavers, and the blue light before me vanishes quickly. Wait. I still need to know what you mean by those words.
Where am I?
Where did I get thrown to when I left that blue room? The scenery is so unexpected that I'm at a loss. This is a school. It's the music room from Yoshigami High. I attended this school with my friends until recently. There's no mistaking it. We entered the TV together, so why am I here? No, that's not right.
No, wait. This has to be the TV world.
The graffiti on the ground. Shoes placed like they're for some kind of ritual. The eerie shining eyes of the portraits on the wall. The more carefully I look, the more I realize this place isn't the real Yoshigami High. Most of all, I sensed no warmth from this place, like I always did from the students who would come and go from there. This is a fake. It's definitely not the school I attended. But what happened to the to turn the TV world to this? On top of that, we entered the TV from our usual entrance, but I ended up in a completely different place.
This has never happened before.
I also realized that my friends aren't with me either. Did we somehow get separated? I sort of feel a chill down my spine, and I look around.
Hello! Sorry for the wait! Greetings, boys and girls of Yasogami! The P1 Grand Prix is about to begin!
God, I gotta turn up
for
every
manners
sound.
or courtesy or anything today, so let it all hang out! Tell us how you really feel!
What the?
Is that Rise? I shout out questions, but she doesn't answer. This is Rise Kujikawa, one of our friends from the investigation team that we couldn't contact. Does she not hear me? Or is she choosing not to respond? As I ask myself this, I hear different voices echoing as well. I look around in surprise. These voices, it's not just from one or two people. I see countless students staring at me from the hallways and the entrances, everywhere I turn.
Huh?
May I have your attention, please? I, Rosette, will be your commentator. But first, the General has a few words for you all.
What's going on? Why are there so many people inside the TV world? Before I can think of any answers, Rise makes another announcement. And, as if on cue, the monitor in the music room turns on. What appeared on it was Teddy. He was wearing a strange hat and cape, just like he did on the Midnight Channel last night. First, Rise and now Teddy? What are they doing?
You're all here now. Well then, I'm proud to announce the opening of our very own P1 Grand Prix!
Again? That's the same bizarre tournament that was shown on the Midnight Channel. Then, is Teddy really the one behind this insanity?
Teddy, what's going on here? We came to look for you and Rise and...
Always with the talking, Sensei. It's a big waste of time. Less talk and more fighting. With the next challenger, come on down!
Teddy looks away and makes a dismissive gesture. Smoke suddenly brushes from underneath me and robs me of my visibility. Is there someone behind that white curtain? Eventually, my field of vision begins to clear. Keep my guard up, expecting anything. But who should appear but Yosuke? Though I hadn't expected to run into him like this, I'm relieved to see that he's safe. He did say something about a challenger just a moment ago. I recall that P1 Grand Prix that appeared on the Midnight Channel looked a lot like some kind of fighting competition. Wait, am I supposed to fight Yosuke now? That's not funny at all.
Great. They're expecting you and me to fight.
Looks like. Sheesh, what's Teddy thinking?
Starting that up already? I won't let you get all buddy-buddy with each other. These battles are fought to the death. Only the victor can proceed.
This joke's gone on far enough, Teddy. We're not gonna play along with that.
I look over at Yosuke, hoping that he would agree with me, but doesn't appear interested in what I have to say.
Oh, really? I guess he should declare me the winner then.
Yosuke?
What? You don't plan on fighting, right? That means I win by default.
That was not what I was expecting to hear. What's gotten into you, Yosuke? Do you have some reason to be talking like this? I can't figure out what's going on. Yosuke continued to speak in a carefree manner, and said something that I simply couldn't believe.
Oh, but is that okay with you? I mean, since Nanako-chan's here and all?
Nanako's here?
Wait, really? You haven't seen her? She's with Teddy.
That can't be. I saw Nanako back at the house when I left this morning. And even then, Nanako can't enter the TVA world on her own. But she's in this world? I can't believe it. For a moment. But what if it's true? Just coming into this world can tire a person out very quickly. On top of that, as someone who can't use a persona comes in here, it can sometimes have... it can even be fatal.
Where is she? Yosuke, where's Nanako?
Whoa, what's gotten into you, partner? No need to get hysterical.
Why are you so calm about this? You know what happened to her last time she came here.
Nanako did come into this world once last year. It was not something any of us would have wanted to happen. That was the start of the whole chain of events. Remembering them is heart-wrenching even now. So why? No. Even then, it might be wrong for me to lash out at Yosuke in the way he's acting. For the way he's acting. Calm down. I need to think straight here. All Yosuke said was that he saw her with Teddy. Then was Nanako brought here by Teddy? He's the leader of this tournament.
Yosuke, be straight with me. Are you sure Nanako is with Teddy?
How should I know? If I had to guess, I'd say she's probably still with him. Man, are you alright? Are you that worried about Nanako-chan? It's no wonder people look at you funny, thinking you have a sister complex.
The sense of wrongness that I've been feeling this whole time is getting even stronger. True, Yosuke may say some insensitive things, but mostly that's because he reads it too much into situations and acts out over it. He's not the type of guy to enjoy making hurtful remarks like
Yosuke,
this.
Are you alright?
Huh? What are you talking about? I should be the one saying that to you. She's not even your real sister. All that big bro stuff really creeps me out. It was a while ago that I saw her. It's probably too late to save her now. You know how things went last year, after all.
Yosuke.
He's definitely not the Yosuke I know. Yosuke is my friend. He wouldn't be so callous as that. At least, I thought so up until now. He was the one who had to face the pain of losing someone he cared about when the murders first started last year. I can't hate him for accidentally mentioning someone who was dead, but the way he's acting, he's doing that on purpose. I silently draw my sword and face Yosuke.
Draw your weapon. You'll get your fight.
What? Dude, what are you saying? You told me you let me win by default.
To be honest, I've been thinking that this Yosuke before me was some kind of fake. I even wondered if something had happened to him, and Yosuke's shadow had appeared again in this world. But this wrongness that I keep sensing, it's nothing like that. This probably isn't the real Yosuke. And the strangeness I feel is because these words really are coming out of the mouth of someone I never thought they would that would say them.
I don't know if you're being controlled or if there's something else going on here. Either way, you must understand the best way to resolve the situation.
There's no way to tell if what I'm saying is getting through to him at all. But if I want to figure out what's going on, I just have to fall for this trap once.
Sorry, but I'm gonna go all out. No hard feelings.
Huh? All that talk and you're gonna fight against your partner after all? Well, whatever. Let's hurry up and get this started.
Finally. Jesus. Only an hour into the stream and I finally get to fight someone in this fighting game. Jeez. Also, I want to see if I can turn up the settings while I'm in the game.
Final. Fight.
I fear for my life. Fuck.
Tremendous blow already.
Got me fired up.
Fuck you, god damn it.
Stay down. Hitting me.
Why did he unblock? I am out of fighting games. It's been a minute. Well, there's all the fun I'm allowed to have for a minute. Jeez.
Amazing, Sensei! Keep that up and zoom on ahead!
Ahead? You're gonna continue with this? Teddy, about Nanako.
I don't want to spoil the surprise. If you want to find out, you'll have to get to me! And I can't say why, but I think you should hurry.
The monitor shuts off. And I still haven't learned anything about Nanako. But he did seem to have been expecting me to ask about her. I don't want to think about it, but Nanako really may be here. The moment the monitors turned off, the students began to leave like waves in a receding tide. No, they don't like students anymore. Something inhuman, just taking the shape of students. I was too focused on the fight to notice, but it seems their true forms were coming through. They look like silhouettes. Could they be shadows? Even so, I don't sense any hostility from them. Well, if they're not a threat and they're going away, there's no need to chase after them. Besides, there's something more important to do right
Yosuke,
now.
Are you alright?
I walked towards where Yosuke lies, collapsed on the ground, gave him a hand to help him up.
Ow! Couldn't you hold back a little? I seriously thought you were gonna kill me.
The same went for you. I wouldn't have stood a chance if I held back on you.
Yosuke grimaces in pain and as he stands, but he doesn't seem to have suffered any severe injuries. That's good. I knew I couldn't risk going easy on him, so I was just a little worried that I'd actually hurt him. But once we get a good look at each other, Yosuke's demeanor suddenly
Anyway,
changes.
that aside, shut up about the nurses already. It's not like that's the only thing I ever think about.
What's this about nurses?
Huh? You were harping on it the whole time. How can you stand there and constantly bash my taste in women with a straight face? Is it such a crime to like nurses?
Wait a second.
I don't understand why he's suddenly angry, but it's not making any sense at all. I tell Yosuke to calm down, and we go over what we thought had happened before the fight. We learned that our memories of what each other had been saying didn't match up at all. According to Yosuke, it seems I had been, well, teasing him about his taste in women. Yosuke was so heated up over it that I'd supposedly said that he almost went into graphic detail, but I stopped him before that went too far. I mean, really, it's best for both of us if we pretend this never happened. But thanks to our conversation after the battle, I came to realize something. If we'd been hearing each other say things neither of us had been meaning to say.
Yosuke, let me ask you something. Is it true that Nanako is here in this world?
She is?
Yosuke is at a loss for words. He had no idea what I was talking about. It's just as I thought. Yosuke doesn't know anything about Nanako. If that's true, then what I had heard from Yosuke saying before the fight was something that Yosuke couldn't possibly have said. This only makes me more convinced that I have the right idea. What I had heard wasn't what Yosuke had meant to say. I don't know how, but something else had made Yosuke see those words, even if he didn't know what he was saying. That reminds me, Teddy on the screen had said that I needed to get to him if I wanted to find out the truth. Does that mean that Teddy had done this to us?
I guess there's no choice but to keep going.
Nanako is a good friend with Teddy. He's good friends with Teddy. I don't want to imagine it happening, but He wanted to kidnap her. It's certainly possible he could have. But to go home at once and check to make sure she's okay. I want to go home once to make sure check she's okay, but I have no idea where I am. Even worse, Teddy holds the means of returning to the real world. There's no way out of this unless I find him on my own.
Taking off?
Yeah.
Well, be careful.
Be careful. I'm worried about you. Do your best. There's a lot of emotion behind these words. Yes. I know that I'm hearing the real Yosuke. That Yosuke's cheering me on to heart. And leave the music room. Then he had said that only the winner could go on in this tournament. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's probably not a lie. Yosuke understands that as well. That's why he's trusting me to sort all this out. He lets me go without much talk. He's frustrated that he can't help me out. Could just be jumping to conclusions there. After all, Daddy did say that was the rules, but we don't have any proof either way. Well, I might as well see what he meant by that. Stop walking and turn back to Yosuke.
Oh, one last thing. About those nurses.
Ah, quit it already! Are you out of your mind again?
Yosuke turns bright red and rushes towards me, flailing wildly in an attempt to stop me from finishing. And there's a painful sounding noise as he runs into something invisible and slowly slides to the floor.
What is this?
So there's an invisible wall. Looks like the loser can't leave the room.
Looks like there's some force that's preventing the loser from leaving the area where the fight took place. As if that was almost already said for some reason. It's likely that every time one of these battles happens here, the winner will get sorted out this way.
I see how it works now. Thanks.
If Teddy really has kidnapped Nanako, there's no time to lose.
Don't use me as your guinea pig. Wait, that's it? Hey, don't wear yourself out, alright?
I turn away as Yosuke shouts at me. Not to worry, Yosuke. I give him a quick smile before leaving the area. For real this time. At that moment, I feel a wave of distortion crash over me. Or disorientation, fuck. Surprised that this is happening without warning, but it's not a threat. After all, I know the feeling all too well. Back in the Velvet Room.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
I had been leaving the music room, but now I'm sitting in the Velvet Room for some reason. Margaret greets me with her usual smile. The room truly is mysterious. But why would she summon me like this? Margaret sees my suspicious expression and speaks up.
Things have only just begun, and yet you already seem tired. The misfortune that has befallen you can be thought of as a sort of trial.
A trial?
I want to know the details behind her words, but I know that she won't answer me, even if I ask. The inhibitions of the Velvet Room never reveal anything. Or everything. That's because they can only watch over the choices their guests make. That was inhabitants, not inhibitions. I knew that was wrong. Fuck. I should slow down and actually read. Margaret's smile broadens when she sees that I didn't intend to ask her anything.
Indeed. I am an observer on your journey. I would do nothing so thoughtless as to force you to make choices. You do not need such provocations. I already know that you shine brilliantly enough.
This shine she speaks of, could it be about my ability to use personas?
Yes, that is part of your brilliance. Personas are masks of resolution, strengthened by controlling one's heart, by forming bonds.
You can read my mind?
You understand this well, don't you?
Yeah, that's how we all fought up till now.
Yes, indeed. But one's heart is intangible. It cannot be seen and cannot be felt. When polished, it releases a strong light unlike anything else. But it can also be clouded by trivial things. Have you ever felt that way?
That may be true. Yeah, everybody's got
You
downsides.
may be more conscious of that fact than most, because you hold the power of the wild card.
Which you don't get to use in this game, so it's kind of pointless. Margaret's voice fades away as she answers me.
From here on, you will be forced to re-examine the things you know as bonds. How will you face the changes to come, and what choices will you make?
When I open my eyes again, I'm in the school's hallway. I turn around and see the door to the music room closed behind me. I was only summoned to the Velvet Room in spirit? There's no way for me to figure out what just happened, but think back on what Margaret told me.
Changes, huh?
Even though the people of the Velvet Room avoid saying much, what little they do have to say always has meaning. Well, true that Margaret has said some strange things while I've known her, but she's never said anything meaningless while on duty. I would assume that this would be the case now. I may have to keep her words to heart. You're implying you've met her off duty. In any case, I need to concentrate on this case for now. I'm sure I'll understand the meaning behind what she said when the time comes. I must proceed. Though this bizarre place looks nothing like Yoshigami High I attended. This building seems strangely familiar as I run through it. Teddy had appeared on the monitor in the music room. From the looks of things, he appeared to be behind what was happening. But I heard Risei's voice over the school's PA system before my fight with Yosuke. If this school works anything like the real one, I can make a good guess as to where Teddy and Risei are.
It might be the announcement room.
But of course, things aren't that easy. Those invisible walls keep getting in my way wherever I go. It seems that some of these walls don't let anybody through, no matter if they won or lost their fights. Every single time I run into one, I'm forced to take another path. It's like my route is already set for me.
I feel like I'm being led somewhere.
I stop for the moment in the hallway out of the
This would have been a lot easier during a Itachi session. A lot more helpful than Itachi's.
And mutter to myself while I take a look around. This is... who is... no. Where are they trying to lead me? At that moment...
Hey, you there! You're one of them participants in that there Grand Prix thing, right?
Yes I am, Amy Rose. Yes, that is the modern voice of Amy Rose. Voice that I don't recognize at all breaks me from my revere. I instinctively jump back and draw my sword in surprise.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's the big idea? You could poke someone's eye out swinging that thing around.
Straight from school.
Yeah, it's kind of what I think every time I hear her, but I honestly don't hate her. I turn and see a girl that I've never seen before. Was she part of that crowd? No. She looks like a real person. She was caught by surprise when I suddenly pointed my weapon at her. Although she flinches, her words don't lose any of their intensity. How bold of her. That may seem like an odd thing to say, but it's what suddenly crossed my mind. But this girl doesn't seem to have any intentions of attacking me. I sheath my sword, but remain cautious.
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you.
Sorry ain't gonna cut it. What were you gonna do if you hurt one of the students here, huh? You can't go pulling that stuff without student council approval. All right, the jig is up. I'm putting the kibosh on this tournament right now.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. I'm not in this because I want to be. I'm trying to stop the tournament.
I'm trying to act non-threatening, but the girl continues to glare at me. Who in the world is this girl? She's wearing a Yoshigami High uniform. She said something about the student council, but I don't recognize her. You don't encounter people here in this world that often. If a person is here, then they're either a Persona user or...
Why are you here, by the way? Wait. Did you fall inside a TV?
That's right. I might have put it in a little differently, but if she can't enter a TV herself, the only other possibility is someone threw her in. That was what was happening with the murders from last
All
year.
inside a TV? What kind of nonsense is that?
She's not aware of it. But it seems, but if she was a Persona user, I don't see why she'd hide that fact. If she was trying to keep that from me, then she wouldn't have come to talk to me like this. And does that mean she's a victim after all? I carefully choose my words to avoid provoking the girl and introduce
I'm
myself.
Yu Narukami. I was a second year at Yasogami High until last year.
Huh? Last year? But that uniform.
Oh no, this is, kind of my usual equipment when I'm in the TV world.
Equipment?
Never mind. Forget it.
Well, if you were only around till last year, I ain't gonna blame you for not knowing. I'm the new student council president. Nice meeting you.
The student council president. If I'm remembering correctly, the student council elections shouldn't take place just before the holidays. I have no knowledge of who won any of the elections since I'd left Inaba before they took place. That reminds me, I didn't have any friends on the student council last year either. This girl may very well be the president. I have no reason for not believing her.
Now it's your turn to spill. You said you ain't in the tournament because you want to be. Then what are you doing here? And what's this tournament about in the first place?
I feel that if I don't explain things very clearly to her, it will only provoke her further. But trying to tell her everything about what's going on here will only confuse her. I'll leave out the fact that this place is inside the television and tell her about other things that are going on. First, I tell her about Teddy, that a friend of mine is likely the one who set up this tournament. Second, that I encountered some of my friends who were dragged into this place as well, but they were acting strangely. And third, that my cousin Nanako, still in elementary school, may have been dragged into this mess. The girl calling herself the student council president seems skeptical while I talk, but eventually she sighs.
So if I got this right, you didn't start this, but your friend did. Well, you don't seem like you're lying.
It seems she somehow grasped the gist of what I was trying to say. I thank her out of politeness, but she laughs and asks why I'm thanking her. There's still one more difficult task left at hand. How do I make her understand that this is within another world? One accessed by going through a TV. She still appears to be energetic, but it doesn't change the fact that she is in danger. I have to get her out of this world, no matter what.
Hey! That sounded like it came from the gym! I ought to tell you to go home, but I get that you're worried about your sis. Come on, let's go check it out.
We both start running in the same direction. I reach my full running speed when something occurs to me. I'm surprised to see Miss President keeping pace with right beside me. Just standing still in this world would be strenuous for a normal person, but she doesn't seem to be out of breath. She's quite impressive. I take a moment to quietly praise the girl and running next to me. We burst into the gym where all that noise came from, but there's no one here. Instead, we see huge piles of stacked chairs. They're twisted and intertwined everywhere. Everywhere on the open floor of the gym, forming huge towers that reach almost the ceiling.
What is this? Who'd go to all this trouble?
The girl stares up at the chairs, seemingly dumbfounded. Suddenly, the monitor in the gym flickers to life. As I expected, Teddy appears again in that costume.
Oh, are you on a hot date, Sensei? Well, that's fine with me, of course. But shouldn't you keep your mind on the fighting? Whoa, you look so mortified. That's the face I was hoping to see.
He's not saying anything completely straight, but he's obviously hinting that he knows I'm worried about Nanako. I know that saving Nanako is important, but can't leave Miss President here alone and abandon her to this world either. Still, I feel Teddy's words causing me to doubt myself. And Miss President raises her voice.
Hey, you! You're the ringleader of this mess, aren't you? What's the idea? Raising a ruckus like this without running it by the student council. Pack it in and clean all this up already.
She speaks as fast and as clearly as she had when I first met her. After getting a clear look at her, I feel like I've come to realize where she gets her courage from. She truly wishes to protect her school. Her strong awareness of her duty is surpassing her fear. But Teddy on the monitor looks annoyed and sneers at Miss President. It's incredibly detestable. I can't believe that Teddy can even make such a malicious expression.
What's that tiny thing? I'm in the middle of an important conversation with Sensei. A yappy little mutt like you should be muzzled and sit in the corner. Sit, puppy, sit!
He has absolutely no intent of dealing with her seriously. Miss President turns bright red in humiliation from being brushed off like that. This is enough. Take a step forward and put myself between the monitor and Miss President.
I'll take it from here. It's all right. There's nothing to worry about.
Miss President's lips are trembling. She must be angry that there's nothing she can do to herself. I don't want that anger to be in vain, so I turn to face Teddy on the monitor.
That was pretty harsh, Teddy. Hard to believe a womanizer like you would say such things.
What's so attractive about a shameless liar like her?
Liar? Do you know something about her?
The way he said that makes it sound as if there's some history between the two of them. But as usual, he doesn't bother to give any details in his answer.
Come on, Sensei. Your opponent's getting tired of waiting for you. With the next challenger, come on down!
After that line, another cloud of smoke rises from the floor. But this time, it was Yukiko who appeared.
Oh, thank goodness you're safe. What's the matter?
It's nothing. Are you all right? Has anything odd happened to you?
Odd? No, I don't think so.
Yukiko seems alarmed to see me in a defensive position. I feel my shoulders relax in relief as I shift my weight to stand normally. Seems that she hasn't been affected like Yosuke had. I don't think I've been that tense though. I didn't think I'd be that tense though. Now that Yukiko, now that's the Yukiko I remember. She's as sharp as always, exactly when we need her. If she's not being confused, then can immediately ask her for help. I try to explain what I need from her.
Nanako might be in here. I'm heading to the announcement room where Teddy is. I need you to protect this girl from me. She might be a victim of all this.
I motioned towards Miss President standing next to me. Yukiko looks at me in surprise. I don't blame her, though. But what Yukiko said next was even more surprising.
Why do I have to do that? It's not like I know her or anything.
I'm not going to help her because I don't know her? Is that really what she's saying? Excuse me. I can understand that she might be cautious when meeting someone for the first time, but would Yukiko really think that way? It's gotta be the same as Yosuke. The same uneasy sense of wrongfulness is coming back to me when I hear Yukiko speak.
Yukiko, not you too. Calm down and listen to me. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Huh? What are you saying all of a sudden? I can hear you clearly. What did you mean by you too?
When I try to question her, Yukiko's expression returns to normal. I can't tell anymore. She doesn't look like she's being controlled by something. Am I overthinking this too much? At the very least, she doesn't seem enthusiastic about this P1 Grand Prix.
This is probably a trick the enemy is playing on us. They're trying to get us to fight each other. I'll say it one more time, Yukiko. I'd like you to protect this girl for me.
Sorry, but I don't know how to put this. It just feels like you're being really selfish. You always help people who have nothing to do with you, and I admire that. But where does that leave us? It's always your friends who get put in danger because of your self-centeredness.
I'm used to hearing her voice, but her words are scathing. I'm convinced now. There's no obvious change in her attitude, like there had been with Yosuke, but something must be warping Yukiko's words too. Her words may seem like it's a sound argument, but she means something else. I don't care if someone who isn't related to her gets hurt. That's definitely not something Yukiko would say. The real Yukiko would never say something so that disrespectful. That disrespects the value of life that way. Don't be deluded. Whatever happened to Yosuke is happening to Yukiko too. And I don't understand the details, but Yukiko hasn't been a complete change of heart. Or hasn't had a change of heart.
What the? You could?
When I draw my sword, Miss President quickly tries to stop me. But I can't answer her right now. If a battle will clear up this pointless misunderstanding between us. The time to fight is now.
Ooh, now that's our senpai. You'll show no mercy, not even to a girl if it's for your own goals. You're a real bastard with a sister complex. Keep it up and bring them all down.
I ignore the taunts being delivered in Risei's voice. Even if our words aren't getting through to each other, and we have to fight without understanding what's going on, we'll come to an understanding later. I have to believe. Both myself and my friends. I hold my sword to the side to protect Miss President, who is standing behind me.
But you need to stay back. Whatever you see here, try to stay calm. Promise me you won't run away.
What happens next will probably surprise her greatly. But I doubt Miss President will run away. She's already shown me how strong her determination is. I glanced at her over my shoulder. Although she looks worried, she gives me a slight nod of agreement. Now, time to do this. I must end this as quickly as possible.
Persona!
I concentrate all my senses to summon my strength of heart. My persona. Izanagi. If I allow myself to go easy on Yukiko, she will surely defeat me. Yukiko smiles faintly and takes her battle stance. She resisted the idea of protecting Miss President. She seems to have no qualms whatsoever about fighting me. There's definitely something else controlling her.
Come, Konohana Sakuya.
Yukiko's black hair forms graceful arcs in the air as her persona rises behind her. That's right. The usual Yukiko should have beautiful heart like this. Wait for me. and we'll save you. We're almost caught up to where the fuck I left off when I stopped playing. Because I don't like playing as Narukami. I really don't. Good old Narukami.
Final. Fight!
Shit, that hits low. Okay.
Nice try. Over here. Is a knife.
Shit.
This is it. You won it. I knew it. Oh my, they lost.
There we go. That's where I left off.
The winner is you, Senpai. What an utter thrashing.
I love all this animosity! These cocky, self-righteous friends showing how they really feel by beating the crap out of each other. That's the real thrill of the P1 Grand Prix!
I don't care to hear any more of Teddy's jests. Still have reservations about fighting against my friends, but I know now that there is no other way to save them. I'm resolved to do what must be done. Also, there's no knowing if Teddy and Rise have been affected by, just like Yosuke and Yukiko had. If they are, then there's no use in trying to talk them out of, to them through the monitors like this. That's the conclusion I've come to, but Miss President seems to have other ideas.
How much further are you gonna push this? Why are you doing it anyway? These guys are friends! What's so much fun about making friends fight each other?
Miss President vents her frustrations at Teddy's image on the monitor. But I was a bit surprised at how she worded it. She seemed more upset that he was making friends fight each other. Not why he had drugged the entire school into this mess. We've only just met, but she's clearly sympathizes with us and understands the pain we're going through. I'm embarrassed, but proud at the same time. A girl with such compassion would be a great student council president. It's no wonder she was elected to represent the student body of Yoshigami High.
It's alright. Thanks, though.
It's not alright! This is...
She's still worked up. She lashes out at me. Perhaps her heart is a little too honest. But her anger sets my mind at ease. She's right. What General Teddy is doing right now cannot be forgiven. I glare at the monitor.
Sorry, but you're not getting your wish.
What?
Did you think this would be all it took to break us apart? That it would make us hate each other? Sorry to say, but that's a huge mistake on your part. I believe in my friends. They'll never get taken in like that.
You're so stupid! What kind of sensei are you?
I'm warning you now. If you really are Teddy, then we'll get you back to normal no matter what it takes. Even if it costs us our lives. But if you're an imposter, hiding behind Teddy's face, I will make you pay for toying with us.
Teddy scoffs and turns around. The monitor suddenly switches off, suddenly turning on us without any sign of remorse. It's not like Teddy at all. No, it's most likely not the real Teddy. Seeing that anger in his face only strengthens my suspicion. Somebody must be taking Teddy's form to make it look like he's the one committing these acts.
That girl's come around.
I immediately rush to Yukiko's side. That's the wrong button.
Yukiko, are you alright? I'm sorry I couldn't go easy on you.
No, it's okay. You weren't your usual self, but I could tell by your eyes that there was something going on. I'm sorry too. Did I hurt you?
Kinda, yeah. I sure wouldn't want to get into it with you again.
We try to pass it off as a joke, and we look at each other and laugh. Things are going to be the same way as they usually had with as they had with Yosuke. It's become clear.
Hey, did I say things that offended you earlier?
Yes. You did.
Yukiko hesitates, as if even remembering it is a difficult experience. What in the world did my illusion say to her? I bet it was something horrible. Whoever's doing this is certainly finding the most annoying way of getting us to fight. But when I supposedly said, whatever I supposedly said to her doesn't matter. Yukiko is still hesitant to bring it up, so I tell her not to worry.
I don't need to know what I said. I just wanted to see if my guess was right. It looks like our enemy has the power to confuse our senses. My first opponent was Yosuke, and he told me a similar story after we fought.
Huh? You said something bad to Yosuke-kun too? What did you tell him?
You sure you want to know?
If I'm the only one admitting that, to what happened, it's not fair, is it? But that curiosity is in line with Yukiko I know. I evade the issue with a smile and call out Miss President, who's standing behind us.
What kind of people are you?
Oh, right. We used our persona.
Yeah, we should at least explain to her what's going on.
She did see everything that just happened. This would be a good opportunity to tell her everything. I introduced Miss President to Yuki, and Yuki to each other, and fill in the parts that I had left out of my previous explanation. I tell her about the personas. I tell her that we're actually in the world inside the television. And I tell her how the scenery here changes according to the hearts of the people who enter it. She looks doubtful while I'm talking, but considering that she's just seen our personas only moments ago, she doesn't immediately deny it. Still, seems that she can't accept it all either. She crosses her arms as if lost in thought. On the other hand, it seems that Yukiko didn't know that Yoshigami High had a new student council president either. Yukiko apologizes for not paying attention to the elections in April.
And that's it in a nutshell.
So, that's what you meant by falling into a TV.
Yeah, which makes me believe this school could be a part of your mind that's materialized.
This school came from me? That's a lot to swallow.
I'm not surprised. Why is it different this time around, though? Usually the victim's shadow appears first.
That's right. I had doubts about that too. There's a reason why it's dangerous for people who can't enter, can't use their personas to enter this world. Besides the obvious reasons, such as not being able to escape, being unable to protect themselves from shadows. The person's shadow separates from them. The shadow that splits off are strongly attached to the original people they came from, and will try to harm them in order to become independent identities. And given it much thought since Miss President seems so energetic, but it's still possible that this has happened to her as well. I put this together with the conversation with Teddy moments ago, and came to a
Teddy,
conclusion.
who's hosting this tournament. What if he's actually this girl's shadow?
Huh?
I noticed he got agitated when I called him an imposter. A fake Teddy would mean he's someone else using Teddy's form.
I see. If this place reflects Miss President's heart, her shadow must be here. And right now, the strongest candidate is...
That's right. If we both saw an illusion, then, at the very least, the enemy has the power to delude our senses and make us see and hear things that aren't there. On top of that, it can alter what others hear us say and see us do. If it can do that, then I can easily see that our enemy can use the power to change its appearance. That means it could be more impersonating Teddy. Could be an impersonating Teddy. to lead this, and leading this tournament. I'm having such a stroke. That still leaves the question as to why it would take the appearance of someone it doesn't know. It sees shadows in the past that took on bizarre appearances, or I've seen shadows in the past take on bizarre appearances, but this is the first time I've seen one impersonate an existing person. Does this shadow have the same kind of objective? Have some kind of objective. When I come to my senses, I see that Miss President has turned pale and is staring down at the ground. All this talk of shadows and other worlds doesn't seem to be reaching her, but she seems troubled at the thought that she might be causing all this trouble. I'm about to tell her that the actions of her shadows aren't her fault, but Miss President raises her
I'm gonna check out the announcement room. That General Teddy's behind the whole shebang, right? And if he came from me, then I gotta own up to the responsibility. As student body president, I can't let this go.
Wait, you're being reckless. We'll take care of the shadow. You need to...
What? Get out of this TV world? And how am I supposed to do that? Go on. Show me the door.
Well...
Her eyes are filled with the fiery determination, just as they had been when I first met her. For some reason, what? Her sense of responsibility and her awareness of her duty says that she will never back down.
Your little cousin's in the announcement room, and you're gonna go save her, right? I might not be as strong as the two of you, but I'm no slouch in a fight. Wouldn't it be better if we went together?
No, don't you understand? This world is...
I know it's dangerous, but there's gotta be something only I can do to help. Hell, that aside, I can't leave after causing so much trouble. Making friends fight each other. I'm going on ahead. You don't want to waste time arguing, yeah?
Miss President declares this in a voice that brokes no arguments, and takes off running. Yikes. Wasn't expecting her to behave rashly like this. Remember how fast she can run. If I'm going to get after her, I need to go at once, or I'll lose her.
Please, you have to go after her.
That's the plan. Yukiko seems hesitant and knows exactly what to say. Excuse me, hesitate. She's right. There's so much we don't understand, but there's no way the investigation team can let a victim run off to die. Yukiko ignores the fact that I'll be leaving her here alone and tells me to follow a girl. She's only just met. This is the exact opposite of the behavior she'd been displaying before the fight. Now that is the Yukiko Amagi I know. I'm ashamed that I had even slightly let myself be confused by the way I had heard her speak before. And I answer her.
Don't worry about me. I believe in you.
Yukiko nods to me, and I turn and begin running as fast as I can. I have to rely on the faint echoes of footsteps ahead to pursue Miss President through the school. I can't use my memories of the school in order to navigate because invisible walls are everywhere. The announcement room is upstairs, and obviously limits the path that she can take. I will catch up with her no matter what. I mean, the school's not very complicated. I've been running after Miss President for a while, but I still can't catch a sight of her. She's so fast, it's almost supernatural. I even begin to think that her path might not be hindered by the invisible walls. Wait a second. Now that I think about it, she's not any participant of the P1 Grand Prix. She didn't appear in the introduction video, and even though she'd been there when I faced off with Yukiko, I wasn't affected by the rules. Would she be able to walk through those walls? If so, then catching up with her will be quite difficult. Just I'm thinking this. Suddenly, a blue door appears in my path. I've seen this before. This is the entrance to the Velvet Room. I don't have time to deal with this, or so I think, but when I consider the timing of its appearance, I can't help but feel there must be a reason for it. I make up my mind and reach for the door. As I walk through the door, I feel a slight sense of lightheadedness and close my eyes, reflexively. When I open my eyes, I'm seated in my usual position, and Margaret is smiling quietly, as if nothing is different. When she sees that I've noticed her, she speaks, as if aware of my impatience.
You seem flustered, but time has no meaning here.
Margaret politely points this out, knowing that I'm in a hurry. Time is meaningless, huh? I thought I had figured out a few things about this room, but it seems there's still more for me to learn about it. We did learn about that in Persona 4. Time doesn't pass while I'm in this room, then I should concentrate on what she's saying, or what she's about to tell me. Once again, as if reading my thoughts, Margaret smiles.
It seems you've emerged victorious and have come away with a piece of the truth. Though you are in a garden of deceit, you have the vision to go forward. Very impressive.
Is that student council president's shadow really the cause of all this, then?
Who can say? All I know is that you are getting ever closer to the truth. There is one thing I can tell you.
Margaret's golden eyes are fixated on.
If that girl's shadow is the cause of this misfortune, she will face her trial. But it's separate from your fate. You have your own trial to overcome. Keep that to heart.
My own trial?
I didn't mean to, but I repeated what Margaret just said.
Everyone sees various things in you that draw them to you. Salvation, hope. I myself find fascination in watching over you. Fate may not be the author of your trials, but you are destined to be tested.
Margaret smiles mischievously and nods towards me. Another slight feeling of lightheadedness passes, and I return to that otherworldly school. The blue door is nowhere to be found. As if it had never been there to begin with. I look up, and I still don't understand what my own trial is supposed to be. But, for some reason, my mind has cleared up a bit. In any case, I need to keep chasing after Miss President. And now, I immediately see a recognizable feature. Her long ponytail. I found her.
Wait! It's too dangerous to go alone.
Miss President turns around in response to my voice. She's smiling. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Color me impressed that you managed to catch up to me so quick.
This calmness. Had she expected that I would follow her? I even feel like she's toying with me. But I understand now. Nothing I can say to her will change her mind. There's no helping at that.
Promise me that you won't leave my side. And you can't do anything rash. If you can't agree to those terms, I'll have to force you into protective custody. This is a matter of life and death for you.
Sure thing. Then let's get to that announcement room together.
I thought that I'd be able to keep her in check by saying that her life was in danger, but she didn't seem to take any notice. She just shrugs and accepts my proposal. She's quite hard to deal with. I'm not sure if she knows how I'm feeling, but she speaks up.
Mind if I ask you something?
What is it?
There's a moment of silence. Just as I'm about to ask her to go on, Miss President continues.
It's tough, being forced to fight your friends, huh? Oh, sorry. You don't gotta answer.
She must still be thinking about my fight with Yukiko. True. I'm slightly hesitant to talk about any of this, but it's a question that must be answered. That's how it feels
No,
to me.
you're right. If I could avoid it, I would. But I believe in my friends.
You mean your friends won't hate you after the fight? Or you think they'll understand that you don't really want to fight?
I don't know. Both, maybe. I mean, there's no way we'd fight each other without some kind of reason.
Will she believe that answer? I study Miss President's face, but when she opens her mouth, she has an unexpectedly gloomy look in her eyes.
What if you had to kill each other?
Kill each other? I truly hadn't anticipated that question. I'm caught off guard by how I hadn't even considered it. It's true, there's no guarantee that this General Teddy won't suddenly decide to make us fight to the death on a whim.
Sorry, that was probably over the line. I don't know why I said that.
I wouldn't let it happen.
Even if I was forced into such a situation, I would never follow that order. That's all I can say right now. But after hearing my answer, Miss President cast her eyes down again. After seeing that behavior, how do I put this? Felt a sense of incongruity. Why could that be? It doesn't feel like her. Could Miss President be carrying some unimaginable burden that she has yet to confide in us? Is it so heavy that she would ask that question of me? Speaking of which, if General Teddy does turn out to be her shadow, and does that mean about whatever repressed thought she truly has? What does that mean? Fuck. Suddenly, it seems that her courageous and cheerful demeanor are a mirror image of that, and a slight sense of fear chills my spine. My thoughts race through my head while we walk down the hallway.
What are you doing?
Thought I broke my nose for a moment. It's that invisible wall again. Even though I should have been able to expect them. And relaxed my guard and walked right into one. I hold my nose and wave back to Miss President, who looks concerned.
There's an invisible wall. I don't think I can go through here.
An invisible wall? Oh, that must have been why you broke out of the mime act every now and then. Well, if I can pass through, it must only be blocking the tournament fighters. This world sure is out there.
Miss President walks right through the place I bumped into. So that means that must be the case. As I'd imagine, Miss President is unaffected by these walls. Is it because she's not one of the fighters in the Grand Prix? Of course, if General Teddy really is her shadow, maybe the normal rules don't apply to her. The entrance to the school building is ahead of us. But perhaps worst of all is that wall I just walked into is blocking me from reaching there. I'll just have to find a way, some other way. No. There are walls there too. And the same can be said for the direction towards the entrance. A thought crossed my mind as I checked back the way I had come. It's as I thought. Another invisible wall has formed where I had just passed, and I can't go back. With walls in every direction, there's nowhere I can go. Trapped. If I can't go anywhere, this can only mean one thing.
Be careful. This probably means...
The moment I call out to Miss President, General Teddy appears on the monitor in the entryway. It means my third round in the Grand Prix is about to begin.
Is your snout okay, Sensei? Jeez, you're such a klutz.
You're still using that form? It's getting old. Why don't you just show your true self?
Boy, you've got peevish? I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I was intentionally trying to rile him up, but he wasn't falling for it. Looks like I'm going to get him to reveal anything that way. But I'm not gonna get fucked. I quickly changed tactics.
So who's my next opponent?
Ooh, now you're getting into the spirit of things. Let me guess, you're starting to enjoy beating up your friends? Okay, with the next challenger, come on down!
The general doesn't pick up on my intentions, and loudly yells out what appears to be his pre-battle catchphrase. Smoke pours out, and who should appear in from the smoke? The person I was expecting to see. 4 of us enter the TV together. I've already fought against Yosuke and Yukiko. Then...
That's what I thought. You're the last of us, after all.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd be next, too.
She laughs along with me. For the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with her. With her words and actions, but can't let my guard down here. After all, I felt the same way when I encountered Yukiko, too. But as they say, the third time's the charm. I have to see if Chie is in her right mind. I decided the best way to do this is to be calm and start a conversation
Chie,
with her.
you know what they're doing, right?
Before I can begin to explain, Chie cuts me off.
I know. The stuff we say gets twisted around so we end up fighting each other, right? Don't worry. You're the son of a bitch who left us as soon as the last case ended, but you're still our good friend. I mean, you have it easy. You're just fighting your friends.
Yeah! Definitely not gonna trick me with that.
Killing over and over, all because of you humans!
What? Now this is obvious. She is clearly not herself. So blatant, her words don't offend me at all. Well, yeah, No, you're clearly not paying attention to the right part there. Whatever is controlling her is talking to you directly. Whatever the fuck was controlling her is pissed off because you just have to fight your friends. They have to keep killing over and over again because of you humans. That's something else. That's a shadow talking or some shit. Moreover, it's not just out of character, but Chie would never say anything like that. Hell, it doesn't make any sense. It's as good as a confession that you're not human. Alright. Carnivore, was it? No, you're not paying attention. Ms. President is watching us from nearby. She looks more dumbfounded than worried. Still. What Chie said at the end caught my attention. And to keep killing over and over.
More stuff about killing, huh? Miss President was talking about it earlier, too. This must be...
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Hurts. I'll give you a taste of the pain they put me through!
She's not even trying to sound like Chie anymore. No, clearly it's something else. Like, can't even begin to understand what she's talking about. But if a shadow is intentionally making people say these things, what does that mean about Miss President? Kill each other? All because of humans? What kind of secret past could this new student council president of Yoshigami High be harboring? No. Now's not the time for this. I'll have to look into this after we're done clearing all this up. Clearing all this confusion up
Let's
between
do this, Chie.
And I ignore her words and draw my sword. Immediately, Risei's voice echoes through the area. As if she was waiting for this.
Well, round 3 of the P1 Grand Prix already. Word on the street is that the carnivore may have a slight advantage. Will you, Senpai, all talk and no skill, manage to eke out a win this time? let's get this show on the road. Ready?
I actually know. Chie is a decent character in this game. I just fucking hate her. Well, not hate. I just don't like Chie. Hate's a strong word. I honestly wouldn't mind picking her up, if it wasn't for the fact that she is Chie Satonaka.
Final. Fight!
I really don't like Chad. I just do not like him. He's not fun, so I spam a lot. One. Lower my sword and begin slowing my breath. I don't believe I've injured Chie too badly. Considering this was my third time having to do this, I feel like I'm getting pretty good at not having to seriously wound people in a fight.
Wipe that smug look off your face. This isn't fun at all!
General Teddy has seen that the fights ended without any injuries, and spits his words through the monitor. The image on the monitor then suddenly disappears without anything further. Let him say whatever he wants. I fought all of my friends. I came into the TV with and none of them are hurt. All that's left is to head to the announcement room and make sure Nanako is safe. And then, I'll be able to go home. I walk over to Chie to help her off the ground. She's come back to her senses, and she seems a little sheepish.
I think so. Man, you're strong. I'm kind of shocked at how much of a difference there is between us.
Look who's talking. I've never been kicked around so badly in my life. As in, not at all. I perfected her. I wait for Chie to reach her feet, and then I tell her everything that's happened up to this point.
So the others are safe too? What a relief. I was pretty worried.
Chie is so relieved that she sits down on the floor once more. Can't help but smile at the reaction. She really does care about her friends. Yeah. These are the people I believe in. Seeing us exchange smiles like nothing was wrong. Miss President sounds perplexed when she speaks up.
You guys really are tight, aren't you? Makes me jealous.
Well, we did spend a whole lot of time together last year because of that case. Sure, I was surprised to hear such weird stuff coming from him, but I know he'd never say any of that to me. Wait a sec. Who are you?
I forgot about that. I quickly introduce Miss President and tell Chie that she may be a victim in the case. But Chie looks again at Miss President suspiciously.
Huh? The student council president? You mean ours? That doesn't seem right. I remember the new president being a guy.
What are you saying? I'm the student council president. Who else would I be?
I'm pretty sure, though. Maybe if you told me your name, I'd remember.
My name...
Miss President stops moving. What's going on? She can't tell us her name? That's not the strangest... that strange of a question, is it? But for some reason, Miss President seems unable to answer. Some kind of incoherent melancholy from her. She and I share a tense glance.
My name's...
What's wrong?
My memories... No, I don't want to fight anymore. Why do we have to kill one another?
Kill one another? I gasp when I hear the word fall from her mouth. I don't know what's crossing her mind right now, but she's definitely not acting normally. I glance at Chie, and try to approach Miss President in the hopes of calming her down. Without warning, Miss President begins flailing her arms, as if trying to ward off demons that only she can see. She reaches out and touches her in concern. Miss President's arm catches Chie's and easily knocks her aside. What power. I barely managed to catch Chie before she slams into the concrete walls. Still, the sudden breakdown. What in the world's happened to Miss President? Once I've helped Chie back to her feet, we carefully approach her from both sides. This will be a little rough, but can't be helped. Can't ask her anything while she's like this. But at that moment...
What? No way!
Before I know it, Miss President is flying through the air. She was... jumping? For a moment, I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. There is no ordinary... this is no ordinary leap. She was at a standstill, but now her entire body is suddenly up higher than my head. Her jumping ability is unbelievable. She had a look up in astonishment as Miss President kicks off the ceiling and changes directions, lands in a full sprint.
Wow. Who is that girl? Did I say something to offend her? She did mention something about her memories.
Come to think of it, her memories did seem a little muddled. Maybe she was on the verge of getting them back.
What kind of memory would make her go nuts and run away like that?
We should know. It's happened to us twice. Can't answer Chie at all. What if we had to kill each other? I hear Miss President's sad voice in my head. She apparently wasn't expecting me to answer her. And she continues.
I'll wait here. Make sure you rescue her, okay?
Her voice is strong and confident, to drive the point home. She pokes my chest with her finger, as if ordering me. Even though she might be in danger herself, she still worries about others. All my friends are like that. That makes me really happy right now. I ask Chie if she'll be alright on her own. She fires back. Let me worry about that. I nod to her and begin running after Miss President once more. We'll save her, no matter what. I don't know what the auto-read button does, but okay. Even though I was running as fast as I could, the invisible walls keep preventing me from making much headway. Yeah, so it just tells it to go to the next one. Once it reaches the end, got it. I attempt to strike at the walls with my persona, but nothing happens.
So many invisible walls, one after another. Miss President can pass through them. I don't know if I can keep up the pursuit.
The announcement room is still my destination. There's no way to know if that's where Miss President is headed as well, but there's a shadow waiting for me there, and I'll need to get there anyway. Teddy and Rise should be in the announcement room, and if Nanako is being held captive, that's where she'll be as well. I have to keep running, but another wall blocks the hallway. First, I think this is a dead end. I realize that I can cut through a classroom and come out the other side of the wall. It's forcing me to enter the room rather than letting me straight through. This probably means I brace myself to put my hand on the door. The moment I step inside, a familiar voice echoes in my mind.
Hi. Senpai! Can you hear me?
That voice. Is that you, Rise? The real one?
Her voice is coming from isn't coming from the PA system. I'm actually hearing it in my own head. This has to be the work of Rise's persona.
Thank goodness. I've been all alone since that weird fake Teddy captured me.
And then you were all fighting each other.
I can hear the relief in her voice. She sounds so different from the insensitive and rude voice that had been coming from the PA system. This is indeed the Rise I know.
Where are you now, Rise? Can you locate where I am?
I'm sorry, I don't think there's time. I'm stuck in the announcement room. Please, Senpai, you have to hurry. If you don't, he'll...
Rise! What's wrong, Rise?
There's no answer. The communication has been cut off. Has something happened in the announcement room? My heart begins racing. The enemy made us fight each other as participants in this tournament, but they had captured Rise as well. It's clear to me that they must have been worried about her using her persona's power to tell us the truth. But that's not important right now. She was just captured to prevent her from contacting us. Then the enemy must think of Rise as being less valuable than those who have to fight. She sounded okay, but who knows what might happen to her in here. I have to hurry.
Pardon me for interrupting while you are lost in thought.
Aegis? A hand brushes my shoulder. In surprise, I jump out and draw my sword. I can't believe that I let myself get so lost in thought that I didn't notice someone until they touched me. This is the second time I've let myself get so distracted. I've gotten used to having my friends with me while we investigated last year. I can't pay attention to the entire world on my own. I need to brace myself. I look up and see another unfamiliar face. A girl with blonde hair and striking blue eyes. Wait, a girl? Her face and voice seem human-like, but the rest of her, there's metal everywhere, all over her body. For a moment, I wonder if this is just an elaborate costume, but I can see the interior framework of her body, where her joints connect.
I didn't mean to startle you.
You're,
It's nice to meet you. My name is Aegis. And no, I am not human. You are the one from the introduction video, listed as the Sister Complex Kingpin of Steel, Narukami-san, correct?
The question catches me off guard. I wasn't expecting a complete stranger to call me that. And did you say she wasn't human? Well, Inosuke called me by that stupid title. I knew it was a joke, but when a stranger says it, it sounds like they truly believe it. This is a pain.
Nanako is important to me, but calling it a complex is stretching things.
No, wait a sec. I was trying to play it off, but I ended up blurting out Nanako's name anyway. Calm down. I need to take this conversation away from this subject. I clear my throat and try to start over.
Aigis-san, was it? Why are you here?
Our primary objective is the destruction of shadows, but we have come to this world on a different mission.
The destruction of shadows?
She fights shadows? But how can she do that?
Does that mean...
Yes, I have a persona as well. Though my body is a machine, personas are the strength of the heart after all.
Just as I thought. I'm surprised to find another persona user outside my group of friends. And a robot on top of that. I can't come to grips with all this. And the way we are talking seems just like the normal person, only in an interesting suit. Truly, I've seen stories in the news about robots looking uncannily like real humans, but isn't something like this far beyond those? Still, I can't help but believe the evidence in my own eyes. I mean, I've been hopping in and out of a TV for the past year. Who am I to say that what's strange or not? Perhaps the technology behind her creation has supernatural roots of its own. I find myself growing more and more interested in how she came to be here. But I have to put that aside for now. There's something I need to find out from her first. This P1 Grand Prix. So similar to the events of last year, but to think that it would involve someone like her. don't have any clear picture of everything that's happened thus far. That's for sure. I calm myself when I ask her what I feel would tell me what she's doing in this world.
And what is this mission of yours?
She opens her mouth to respond, but just then... the monitor inside the classroom turns on. It's at this moment I suddenly remember, it's likely that I'm going to have to fight her. I'd forgotten about sensing that when I entered this room.
Aha! So that's where you got to, Sensei. I've been looking all over for you. Ooh, who's the honey? Were you in the middle of trying to score with her?
As if you didn't know. You're the one who lured us both here.
Oh my, did you figure it out? I didn't have a choice after those guys decided on their own to horn in on the fun. You're a bright boy, Sensei. You know what's coming next, don't you?
The general on the monitor gives me a twisted smile. Could Aegis-san's mission be something that would cause him trouble? Can't figure out what his motives are. But he's using us to crush each other. In other words, she's the next challenger that's being set up against me. Aegis-san seems to understand this as well. And just staring at the monitor with a quiet animosity.
Sorry about this. Do you know the rule of this tournament?
Only the victor of each match may move on. Yes?
I have nothing against you, but I'm in a hurry for my own reasons.
Neither of us, in other words, can back down. Then there should be no hard feelings.
Aegis-san is refreshingly straightforward about this. She immediately takes a fighting stance. A bitter thought comes to me. It's tough being forced to fight my friends, but having to hurt someone that I don't even know is just as bad. Another thought comes to the heel of that. I don't know this girl. Perhaps her appearance here means that there are urgent problems that an ordinary student like me can't fathom. It gives me the right to stop her on her mission. Shouldn't I know what is at stake before I take that from her? Thankfully, it seems that she hasn't gotten mad like my other friends. Perhaps the enemy doesn't care about clouding the minds of people who don't know each other. If we're still capable of understanding each other, then we should talk this over before we do it.
That will not do. We will speak more of this after one of us wins.
Aegis-san seems to says this quickly, as if she's reading my mind. For a moment, I'm struck by how she could have done that. Or she could have known what I was thinking, but I realized that she's right. What good would it be, or would it do for us to talk things over? True. Lizard cannot leave this room, but until we have a battle, neither one of us is going anywhere. Doesn't really matter if we can come to an understanding or not. Until we have our fight, none of our goals are going to be accomplished. If that's the case, then it's better if we don't hear about each other's problems before we fight. And that could be why Aegis hasn't told me anything. This must be her version of kindness. I silently raise my sword. Aegis-san appears to smile slightly when I do. Right. I'm not going to give up on what I'm fighting for either. I need Nanako and my friends to be safe. And I have to make sure that Miss President is okay. I will use everything I can to protect them. To thank her for her consideration, I make it a point to announce that I'm ready to start the fight.
Here goes. There's no need to hold back.
Indeed. Let us do battle.
Now you see, I brought a sword. Aegis brought a minigun. So, one of us has clearly got the upper edge here. And newsflash, I hate zoners. And I don't think my zoning capabilities are necessarily good enough to keep up.
Cannon! Clear impact!
But my rushdown might.
Light damage. Severe impact. Some damage.
Nice
now.
try.
Downward. Severe impact will not be hit. Please hit.
Over here.
Guarding.
Take this. Over here.
Fire.
Come.
No. Damage. Severe heavy damage. My other no. Fire. Severe impact. Light damage.
Take it.
I'm going.
Shit.
Here I go.
Take
Motor
this.
functions shutting down.
Whew. Okay. That was less difficult than I expected. Also, this is flat out going to make me lose my voice. The sheer amount of reading I have to do. But my throat is already getting sore.
Wowza! Now that's the sensei I know! That hunk of junk was no match for you! Serves you right! Keep suffering! Friend against friend, beating the heck out of each other!
A machine with the power of a persona. She was made to fight shadows, but I have no idea what she was capable of. I feel like my mind's been drained even more than my body. It angers me to see that General's watching over us with an expression of joy, as if we were some performers for his amusement. I look up and glare at the monitor.
I don't know why you're making us fight, but it's pointless. We aren't fighting because we hate each other. The reason we can fight is because we respect and trust each other.
A low growl. That's the only sound I hear. The real Teddy never made such a hateful sound. It's actually rather scary.
You're such a dumbass! What's with you?
The image on the monitor distorts along with that outburst. The General is having trouble remembering to act as somebody else. And his face bulges and ripples disturbingly as his hate pours through the screen. Any pretense at copying the adorable stupidity of the real Teddy is gone now. I notice that the voice is splitting out of these hateful words. It's not Teddy's either.
Trust? So what if you don't hate each other? You're not like me! I was forced to fight against my will! I destroyed them with my own hands! You should all have to go through the hell I've suffered! See how it feels to destroy everyone you call a friend! If I knew this was gonna happen, I would have made the rules so you had to kill your opponent to move on!
General on the monitor continues to rage.
What are you talking about? Why did you set this tournament up?
The moment I say that, I feel that all the dots have become connected. When Miss President had asked out of the blue if we were going to be forced to kill each other. That ominous muttering of kill one another. Were these both something that had come directly from her past? Maybe she had been forced to fight against people she didn't want to fight. Had she been forced to destroy something that was precious to her? There's no way of knowing for sure, but it's possible. She's also not human, you humans and stuff, but considering this kind of explains why her shadow would have created a tournament like this. That is, she wanted us to feel what she went through. Might not be entirely correct, but I feel like I'm close to the truth. Could I just ask General Teddy about my suspicions? But I'm considering raising my voice.
Pardon my eccentric entrance.
What?
Oh, fuck. It's you. Someone comes crashing through the ceiling. What in the world? I rush over to Aegis to protect her from the falling debris. Huh. I was definitely not expecting to see Elizabeth. No, wait, no, she is a playable character in this game. I completely forgot. When I look up, I see a young woman emerge from the clouds of dust. While not as strange as Aegis, she seems a little uncommon as well. But even besides that, why did she have to come through the ceiling? This room has doors. Makes no sense at all. I was about to get to the heart of the matter with General Teddy, but the monitor in this room has been destroyed along with the ceiling. Though, she seems oblivious to my confusion. The girl cocks her head and apologizes again.
Oh, please excuse me. I didn't have the faintest idea that someone would be here.
Faintest?
Feigned? Fiend? Something along those lines at any rate.
The hell is she talking about? Who in the world is this person? Wait a second. That blue suit she's wearing looks familiar. And the silver hair and golden eyes.
Are you from the Velvet Room?
My, is this what's known as being hit on?
Jesus Christ!
A forbidden ritual where one human approaches another based solely on appearance and bets on the inner self being equally attractive.
That is not...
What?
What?
No, I'm not hitting on you. You just remind me of someone I know.
Okay, so that actually sounded like I really was hitting on her. No, I need to stop thinking about that. In any case, I need to ask
Do
her
you happen
something.
to know anyone by the name of Margaret?
Margaret?
When she replies the name, her face seems surprisingly youthful. I'm taken aback by her bizarre speech and actions, but could this girl be younger than me? Her profile simultaneously evokes an image of pondering philosopher and an innocent girl. Can't figure out how exactly to speak to her. Should I be more polite? Guess that doesn't matter too much. Anyway, worrying about the niceties isn't the most important thing.
Oh, actually, we should introduce ourselves first. I'm Yu Narukami.
Ah, that had slipped my mind also. My name is Elizabeth. Dear me, to hear that name fraught with memories in such a mundane, remote place.
She thinks of this world as a mundane place? That's confusing. Yaso Inaba may be out of the countryside, but I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. The girl Elizabeth suddenly blows... Fuck, excuse me. Bows elegantly to me.
Margaret is indeed my sister's name. Can I take that to mean that you are another guest of that room?
I see. So she's Margaret's sister. I want to explain why she reminds me
Elizabeth-san, huh? Well, I guess that's the case. It's true that there was a time when I visited that room.
Igor, Margaret, and now Elizabeth? Seems there are more people who could call that place home than I thought. I think I'm glad I met Margaret last year instead of this.
Why is a resident of the Velvet Room here? Did Margaret send you with a message or something?
I am currently utterly neglecting my duties.
Ah, great.
Is that so?
That doesn't really tell me much. And I have no response anyway. So, what possessed her to come blasting in through the ceiling instead of using the door? I decided not to bother asking her that. I've met so many different people over the last year, but trying to have a conversation with this girl is like trying to ride on a wild horse. She's going to ignore the direction I'm trying to steer us towards and just veer off to wherever she wants. Best to just hold on and go along with the ride then. Maybe if I pay attention, she'll tell me something worth my time. Even if I try to ask her any questions, she'll likely just be confused anyways. Just as I'm having that thought, the girl seems to have noticed my hesitation and starts to talk about herself. Her eyes are lit up with a sincere passion. She really is a hard one to read.
I have a certain desire. It may take a very long time for it to be realized. In order for my wish to be granted, I require a power much greater than what I have. The power of the wild card that changes bonds into strength. I have a feeling that the key lies there.
I know a little about the wild card, but
I feel that the first glue to granting my wish lies within that power.
glue?
Flu? Influenza. Something along those lines at any rate.
Oh, boy. She's having trouble coming up with the right words, but I can hear the sincerity in her speech. Probably. In other words, I think she means that the power of the wild card is related to her desire and came here. I don't think it's worth it to ask how she knows I had the power or where she found out about it. Just as I'm struggling to follow the meandering path of her conversation, she brings up an outrageous
Might I
suggestion.
suggest that you and I fight?
What? Someone please tell me how she reached this conclusion. That was a good idea. I don't think I have a chance of talking her out of it, though. But of course, have to try. So I say.
Oh, how excited this is making me. My expectations are ascending skyward at Mach speed. To be direct, I'd like for you to show me the potential slumbering within you.
Let me make sure of something, just in case. You understand what I'm saying, right? There's no illusions at work?
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed.
I see. So you're actually in your right mind here. That's kind of, impressive.
Well, maybe she understood what I meant when I mentioned the illusions. If that's so, then she at least must have some idea of what's going on here. And even though she might understand it, she still wants me to fight me? I wonder, though. She's unrelated to the General Teddy's plans, and invited herself into the tournament. The usual rules apply? As I think about this, Elizabeth-san taps her foot against the ground and takes a fighting posture. She really does want to fight. The huge leather-bound book in her hand opens as if by itself. A torrent of power pours from the book, from the open book, with a blue light. I can't believe that this is the strange girl. And that this strange girl has such unimaginable power. She seems so aloof. Now, maybe more correct to call it an air of imminent violence.
Alright. I won't be able to hold back.
To be honest, I was really only saying that in the hopes of bluffing her. I have absolutely no room to hold back in this fight. I hurriedly cast off my fear and focused on the upcoming battle. There's no room for doubt. I need to hit her with my full strength from the start. Even if I were to fight her with the intention of killing her, I'll be lucky not to end up dead myself. At least that's how I feel. Elizabeth-san calmly begins the
Let
battle.
us do this. Your fate is in the cards.
Oh my. Oh, Astrophic, if you haven't realized, both Elizabeth and Elizabeth and Aegis are from Persona 3.
Everything seems impressive. Impressive. Oh no, the time has come. Impressive. Impressive. Oh no. Impressive. One. I'm surprised.
Whew. Okay, that was all pretty much accidental, but you know what? It works. I'm gonna take full credit for that. But honestly, my throat is kind of disappearing. So I think it best if I stop for now. 2.5 hours seems fine to me. For now, at least. Jesus, though. But this is actually a little more interesting than I was expecting it to be. And I need to practice fighting games more anyways, so, you know. But for now, I will leave it here, and I hope everybody who watches this has a fantastic day.